Alright, so I know a lot of y'all may be viewing the title and are wondering, is this man trying to disrespect? Like, what did we do to him? What's up? Trust me, my intention wasn't to disrespect nobody or cause any beef, but to bring forth the theme of this message, which I hope you understand better after you hear this testimony that I'm about to share. So around late fall or early winter of last year, I was outside, as I usually do, riding around on my skateboard. And I had on a nearly all red outfit, pretty much the same as what I got on right now. Keep note of that, it's gonna be an important detail in a couple of minutes. So I was riding through the street as usual, playing music on my speaker, attempting to do some tricks and stuff like that. Didn't work out, but I tried. But when I was on my way home, I wasn't paying attention and I was on the wrong side of the street. So it turns out there was a car behind me. Now, I realized just in time for me to get out the way, but as an apology, I waved at the car and was like, my bad, sorry about that. And for a split second, I had eye contact with the driver and she gave me the most stank look. Now, I pretty much understood because I was like, okay, I was in this lady's way for I don't know how long, probably not paying attention. She was maybe trying to get somewhere. And I was like, okay, my fault. So I moved to the side of the street just in case any more cars come. And lo and behold, down the street, there's another car coming. I watched them pass by. And I decided to be friendly and wave at whoever was in the car. And surprisingly, it was another lady. This time it was an elderly black lady, I believe. And as I waved, she gave me a stank look. So by this point, I'm like, okay, something's gotta be going on, because why is this lady looking at me funny? So I ride my skateboard down the street some more, and I had to stop again because then there was another car. And don't ask me why, I like presenting myself friendly to people. So I instinctively waved at the third car. I don't remember what ethnicity or age the person was in the third car, but I do remember the expression they had on their face, which was a look of displeasement. So now by this time, I'm absolutely questioning, okay, what's going on right here? Like, do I got something on me? You know, what's going on? So when I got home, I told my mom about it and we were talking about it for a couple minutes and she was telling me, she was like, they're judging you because of your appearance. And I had to really think about it for a moment, like how I was dressed, you know? Not that it's a negative, but people look for reasons to judge based off of how you look. I was wearing all red, I had a 2-strand twist hairstyle, and I was blasting music. Granted, at least I knew this, it wasn't inappropriate music. I don't play none of that cussing music, that nonsense, it's out the window. I don't play it. But either way, I'm an African-American kid with all red on and a speaker in my hand. So obviously, judgmental people are gonna get suspicious. But after realizing this, my thought and response wasn't one of humbleness, it was actually one of arrogance. I thought to myself, I'm a Christian kid, so what are they talking about? Like, I'm thinking to myself, all these judgmental things, I'm like, I probably read the Bible in 1 week more than you do an entire year, yet you looking at me like I'm a gangbanger? What's up with you? And I started having all these thoughts like, man, they better start treating me right. I'm the only kid not doing something nefarious up in their streets. Peep it, thoughts of arrogance, not thoughts of humbleness, arrogance, pompousness. Knowing very well that although they had no right to judge, those people had no reason to assume that I was a good kid or some positive influence on the neighborhood. So sometime later, when I was thinking back on the moment, I had to really think to myself like, man, I don't remember Jesus getting mad like that when people were judging him. In fact, Isaiah chapter 53 verse 7 says, he was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to slaughter, and like a sheep that is silent before its shears, so he did not open his mouth. Isaiah chapter 53 verse 7 is a prophecy of what Jesus would go through. And if you read all throughout the Gospels, you find this very evident. When Jesus would say what he said, not just based off of a passing look, not based off of a tone of voice or hairstyle or clothing style, based off of the truth that he shared, people judged him, called him a heretic, a blasphemer, a devil's enthusiast, all these different things that they were calling him based off the truth he was sharing. And when it was time for him to be judged and put to death, you saw no words out of him to defend his case. But regardless, he'd never stopped telling the truth, no matter how people saw him. So it made me think, if Jesus was willing to die on a cross and be insulted before that process, yet say nothing,
say no harm or ill will towards the people who were insulting him for the truth that he was sharing. Why is it that so many of us Christians, particularly a lot of us in America, feel like we deserve this level of respect because we're walking in righteousness now? Why do we feel like that? If somebody disrespects you for whatever reason, they're like, oh, they must not know who I am. You must not know that I'm a Christian. I'm gonna be doing the right thing. So you better not come near me. It's like, what is that for? What does that solve? A kind word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up conflict. That includes in your own mind. You may not say something to somebody when they insult you or when they judge you for whatever reason, but in your mind, you're stirring up conflict in your own mental space based off of a mean glare or some mean words. Trust me, I'm speaking to myself when I say this too, but how arrogant of you to think that you have the right to insult someone back when Jesus didn't even do that. Being who he is, God in the flesh, but you think you have the right to insult someone back because they dissed you? Because you a Christian now, they ought to treat you to a higher level of respect? No, that is not and has never been what this walk has been about. Ask the apostles, they all died at the hands of Roman soldiers, of the Roman government, saying that they were spouting something that was not according to the truth of what they believed, which were idols, religious collectivism. But then some Hebrews come along and say, no, get rid of all these other gods. They mean nothing. So to you, my fellow Christians, I say, do not expect respect out of people. Nobody owes you nothing. God doesn't owe you nothing. God doesn't owe you success. You have to work for success. And if you fail, get back up and try again. Going forward, let's work on being humble, slow to anger, absent from pride, and quick to pray. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all today. If you're willing to, please subscribe to the channel for more biblical messages from God. And that's all. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and stay humble.